Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Road to Grandmaster. Sadly, my microphone was not enabled during the recording of this game, so what you're listening to right now is a voiceover, and I'm going to try my best to convey everything that I said during the game, and to also line it up with the video. But yeah, in this video I wasn't going to do anything new. I was just going to do the same thing as in the last episode, because I think the level of play that we're at is good enough for now. But let's explain the game. The opening is nothing new, except that I introduced move orders this time. And instead of moving to every single individual mechs, you could also place a move order in a way that you can reach 2 mass extractors, as I show here. And this is a 5 kilometer, so the land factory queue there includes 2 tanks instead of 1. And then the engineers just expand as always. Yeah, the power generators. The way I built them is with a little gap in between them. The reason is that power generators are volatile. They will explode and do, I think, 200 damage to surrounding buildings. So if you build them all together, it is a good target for bombers, and especially on maps with no hydros, losing your power generators can be devastating. So on a map like this, it can be a good idea to spread your power generators just a little bit. So all the expansions have already been queued up. Next engineer will just assist the ACU. I could send the next tank to the left or the right, but I decide to send it to the right to ensure that I get the right side expansion at least. I think the last time I split it up. I'm not sure which I like more. I think they're both very much viable. I do split up the scout though, because you don't need 2 on the same side. And here I could be aggressive, but I decide not to. I don't have full faith in my build order with a stall like that. I might very well be behind on units. So I decide not to risk it. And because I'm stalling power hard, even though I would like to build more factories, I just have to build more power first. And since I am low on resources, I decide to let engineers take over the construction and let my ACU expand towards the left side. I've seen this unit on the left for a while now and decided to send a Mantis to the left, but turns out it is the ACU. The ACU is on the same side. It's a little dangerous, but something to take note of. Now, here he has more units than me, and many people might be inclined to stay and fight because you want to protect your mass extractors, but sometimes it's better to just give up mass extractors and give up map control if it means preserving your units. Now right here I feel fine building some stuff on my base because I've already retreated my units. But we'll see this more times this game, where I decide to just give up the map and preserve my units to fight later in the game. And our opponent actually makes the mistake to fight when he has less. But here again, I just retreat. I see he has more units. There's no point in fighting. I'm just gonna lose and the problem will only exacerbate itself. Now that I've lost mass, I don't actually need this power anymore, so I just reclaim what I'm building. Now that some units have gathered, I try and see if I can push out a little bit. And I see his army. There's a little bit at the bottom and a little bit at the top. I focus on the top because it's threatening my base. But I also see that the army contains light assault bots and mobile anti-air. And while cyber and mobile anti-air can shoot land units, it's not powerful at all. So this is a fight I can win. This is why I waited. Because now the ball is back in my hands, if that's a saying, I'm not sure. Now I have the unit lead because he just lost everything. And I can try to make a move on the right. I'm sending most of my units to the right now because I want to make sure that I can get it back. Still a couple well-placed radars, see both of the sides. I try to test my luck a little bit and push forward, but I know that this could go wrong. I haven't seen any of his units for a while. He could be building an army up, and it does indeed look like he is, so that's why I kept paying attention. But this fight is good for me. He's running straight into my ACU, and I have supporting tanks to boot. This is free veterancy for us. Free mass killed building up. Lose the mass extractor, but it's really no biggie. And the fight on the right, not sure if I can win it, so I just retreat. And his army does look bigger. And that is another example of just giving up space a little bit, instead of fighting a fight that I can't win. I do notice that I have more units on the left, so I can retake this side. And I'm so desperate for mass that I start building the mass extractor before even finishing off the opponents. And here too I can use the move order to build the extractors much more efficiently.
Under attack.
And I missed when I did it, but I haven't seen a single air unit from him since. That's why I queued up 3 bombers. Try to make a play for his power generators. That is a big army. Mine is in a better formation. With a size difference this big, it's not really a fight I want to take. But I can skirt upwards a little bit, and I'll skirt around the edge of his army. And it's giving me a favorable trade despite having less units. In retrospect, I feel like the micro there was maybe a little too advanced. Something I shouldn't have done at this level yet. So my apologies. But that's one way to do it. Some unit micro. And that gives me control over the right side. And I take my bombers and queue up the power generators. Those are all of the power generators that he has. If I can kill them all, he will be out of the game for quite some time.
Commander under attack.
And I decide to remove interceptors from the queue because he doesn't even have an air factory at all. It's important to react to such things with air factories. Something I often see and something I've often done, even at higher levels of ladder, let's say 17, 1800, is building interceptors when the opponent doesn't even have an air factory. You really should pay attention to it. Now, neither of us have any side expansions, but he does have 2 Tech 2 mass extractors, so I'm a bit behind. And I do want at least one side. It looks like I'll be getting the right for a bit. Now, one thing I've noticed is my opponent builds too many anti-air and too many Tech 1 artillery in his armies. He would stand to gain a lot from just copying my unit queue. And when microing ACU versus ACU and armies like this, you want to keep the ACU in front of your army, and you want to try your best to shoot the enemy units without letting the enemy ACU shoot your units. My ACU has already accumulated 22 kills, 926 mass value killed. I think my opponent probably has a little less at this point, in shooting my ACU mostly.
Commander under attack.
I did build an energy storage there, by the way, for overcharge. And I see an opportunity. His ACU retreated, but his army came forward. So I can use my ACU here to farm value on his tanks. I bring my own tanks. And that is an overwhelming victory. And I tried to chase his ACU down, but my ACU is not in range, so in this case, his ACU is farming my units. So in a second I will pull back my units because I realize that it is impossible to get him, and instead go for a raid on the side. My mass is filling up and I'm down on mass extractors. So I decide to upgrade one, and I also built some more power. I was only like plus 50 power with plus 6 mass. Deciding to spend that mass would send me in a power stall. As you can see, it's about to happen. Plus, having extra power is good for overcharge. So this fight on the right goes well for me. I was talking too much to notice why exactly it did. Maybe his unit composition wasn't very good. Now that I won such a big fight, I can try to attack the right side just a little bit, just to be annoying. And the mass extractor upgrade is done. And here we see our opponent trying to defend against a much larger army, and this is exactly what I was talking about earlier. Our opponent making the mistake of trying to defend when he can't. Here he should be just sacrificing those 2 mass extractors, it's not a big deal. And instead he loses 2 mass extractors and a bunch of units. Doesn't play out well for him at all.
Commander under attack.
Plus, most of those units were light assault bots, which you shouldn't make beyond minute 2 or 3. That panned out very well for us. Bit of a misplay from our opponent. And mass is filling up again, so I can afford another upgrade. Here I only have 5 factories, but he has 9, and yet for some reason I'm able to keep up. And my guess is he's been mass stalling this entire time, which results in his factories not being efficient at all. At the same time, his unit trades haven't been very efficient. But this is why it's important to not build too many factories. More factories does not equal more units if you are stalling. So don't queue up too many factories in one go. You want to kind of feel out how much you can afford. And now that I have a little bit of eco, I decide to go Tech 2. Both sides look relatively safe. Got the right side, the middle, and two mexes on the left. D2 isn't cheap, so I build a little bit more power. Now, kind of had a tingly spidey sense that he was making a gun upgrade, because nothing is moving for a while. That is usually a sign that he is making a gun upgrade, and there, from the way his arm looked, I could tell he did in fact have a gun upgrade. And that's another way you can tell: the doubled fire rate. For any faction but UEF, a gun upgrade will have doubled rate of fire. UEF will just have doubled damage per shot. And this gun upgrade is so good, I mentioned it in the last episode, that I don't even want to take a fight. So I avoid it completely. I just turn tail and run. Army on the right looks bigger than mine, but I have a point defense, so I try to stick around and fight with it. And our opponent does retreat for a little bit. And I bring some units to my ACU to hopefully rush up my own gun upgrade. Now he's killed my point defense, so kind of can't win this fight anymore. Instead of hanging around and fighting him anyway, I just decide to give up the expansion. Now he splits up his ACU and his army. And his army is running straight into my ACU and an army, so that's an easy win. Plus it's a bunch of anti-air. My bombers automatically aggro on his ACU, which actually works out perfectly because all of his anti-air just died. On the right side, I have to keep running. I do have 4 Tech 2 tanks, rhinos, as backup. And they can take out this army completely. The way to go about it is not to right-click straight into the army, but to kind of kite around the outside edges. Just don't engage with the entire army, engage with the outside edges of the army, and slowly whittle it away until you win. While his ACU is preoccupied, I am using my tanks to take out the entire left side of the map and retake it for myself. Notice he still doesn't have Tech 2 land, so with my Tech 2 land I might be able to just secure both sides. And I noticed that he has some mobile anti-air, so I retreat the bombers because they die to mobile anti-air, well, any form of anti-air, very quickly. And I start my gun upgrade. I don't have resources, but I can stop making Tech 1, should have done it a minute ago. He tries to push into my base, but with defending Tech 2 that's not going to work. Now I notice that his ACU is there as well. So I retreat my units, but I notice that the back of his army is not defended by the ACU, so I can take out a few units in the back. And I notice ACU pulls back to deal with the units, so I retreat those, and his army walks into my base, so I can take care of that instead. Kind of just fight the units, not the ACU, pretty much. And without losing too much, I managed to take out the entire army there. And here I try to surround his ACU. Kind of capture the mexes on the right while I wait for my units. These are 9 Tech 2 tanks, pretty strong. Could be enough to kill his ACU if he doesn't have support. But he does have support, so I decide not to take the fight. Perhaps once my ACU is there, I'll be able to take him out. I'll kind of try to force out another max upgrade. I am down on those. Radar endpoint defense always useful. Actually don't have any radar at all on the map. So I build it on the left. It's not wise to take a fight without radar. And I notice from the sound that he has a gunship on the right side. Good thing I still have my interceptors. And just to run past my ACU. But this army is so much anti-air that a few defending T2 tanks can easily deal with it. So I bring back a few tanks, but not all of them. I don't have to overreact to this. And instead I can just focus on the expansion, prevent him from taking it, and take it for ourselves. Now, again, I don't want to send the Tech 2 tank straight into his army, just kind of around the edges. And things will play out well.
Commander under attack.
Now I decide to add some more Tech 2 production. Maybe I can't afford it now, but I will soon. I'm expecting to
Commander under attack.
get at least one of the expansions because I have a ton of Tech 2 tanks and he still doesn't have Tech 2 at all. All I need is to split up my tanks here so that my engineers are actually defended. So there I go. And instead of pushing forward, I kind of need the mass, so build the extractors instead. Now unfortunately I have to retreat my engineers. I just queued all that stuff up, but oh well. Now there is a fight going on, but I trust my units to take care of it, so I take some time to re-queue the mass extractors. As you can see, the fight plays out perfectly. It's Tech 2 against Tech 1. No sweat there. Opponent just now has T2, kind of way too late. Should have gone Tech 2 the moment he saw that I had it. And gotten rid of some of his Tech 1 factories. I have 21 Tech 2 tanks and he has maybe 1. Now an ACU is pretty good against Tech 2, especially with overcharge. So I can more freely use my tanks risk-free on the right than on the left. That is one thing that is pretty important to remember. T2 is more effective on the side where the ACU isn't. The enemy ACU, that is. So he's building a Tech 2 power generator, which is odd.
Commander under
He doesn't have that much mass. But I notice a big army. Despite it being Tech 1, I'm not going to rush in and fight him.
Commander
I gain some space on the right. Get some more mass extractors. I get the middle again. Stuff is looking good. Now here, even though I have Tech 2 against Tech 1, I'm still putting my ACU in front of the units. And look at that, my ACU is shooting, his isn't. This is value for me. But as you can see, those Cybran artillery are pretty good against higher tech because they are inaccurate, they have high AoE, and they stun.
system
And the inaccuracy kind of helps accidentally hit them sometimes.
under attack.
But his ACU retreats, And this is the perfect time to strike with my units and my ACU, because his ACU was not there in the fight, and all of his units were on the front. So it's an easy cleanup for me. And with 11 tanks and an ACU,
Under attack.
I want to give chase, but he kind of walks out of intel, taking a lot of damage here, but he walks back in. It's a big mistake from our opponent that could cost him his life. So I keep chasing, and I have to be careful because my own ACU is pretty low. Because, well, let's just right click him, and we take him out. He underestimated our tanks there, I believe. But when making a play like that, you should be careful, because if your ACU drops below 2500 and you are caught in the enemy ACU explosion, you will die too, as it does 2500 damage. But yeah, pretty tough game. GG's to Putin_V_V. Well played by him. But he really could use adjacency, and perhaps building less factories next time. I don't think his economy could sustain the amount of units he was trying to build, especially the Tech 2. This is 9 Tech 2 factories. They drain 9 mass per tick each. That's a total of 81, and he has 5 or 6 Tech 2 mass extractors, which produces 36. So he's trying to produce at least twice as much as that he actually has. He might as well not have half of those factories, pretty much. But yeah, so no adjacency, building too many factories, and the wrong unit mix, too many anti-air, too many artillery, and also taking fights when he shouldn't, has led to him losing the game. I think if he did all of those things correctly, he would have won pretty hard, because the entire game it felt like he had more mass than me. And we're about to see in the scoreboard as well. Okay, there we go. Yep, I was behind on score almost the entire game. I was down on mass almost the entire game, like past minute 4, 5 or 6. I fell down on mass. And then he's built more units. He kept spamming Tech 1, but he's killed less, so, you know, less mass, but I used my mass better. I used adjacency. I didn't build too much Tech 1. I took fights when I should, not when I shouldn't. There's a couple things for our opponent to improve upon, but he did pretty good. That was not an easy game, but let's move on to the next game now. Okay, on with the next game on the map Sentry Point. Map we haven't seen before. I just found out that I wasn't recording my microphone in the last game. I'm gonna have to dub over it. What a pain. Anyway. I think I went a little overboard with the amount of micro in the previous game, so my apologies if I did. And I'm gonna try to tone it down maybe for now. But this map, the start for mass extractors, a hydro close by. In fact, there's 2. Just gonna do a simple build, which is land factory for mass extractor hydro, and after that, I suggest you make a power generator and then your land factory. Not making the power generator could be a little dicey. Let's queue it up. And also, without mentioning it, I'm also using the move order to maximize range on the hydro. We'll assist the engineer, and I've forgotten to queue tanks. Let's do that now. It's a usual queue, nothing new there. I'm gonna take this engineer, expand to the bottom. So this is a new map. There's an expansion at the bottom. Same amount of mass extractors and hydras as our main base. And there's a civilian base in the middle, which is usually focused more than the expansion at the bottom. Simply because of the amount of reclaim there is. Pretty valuable position. It is guarded by point defense. And actually stall power even with the power generator, so there you have it. Without it, I would have been screwed. Let's make 2 more before building more factories, shall we? I'm actually going to assist this engineer with the other engineer and then leave the base with the ACU. Already queued up most of the stuff. Let's go down and protect this guy. Opponent is 1200 though. Not sure how this game is going to go. Even with the better build. Focusing my tanks at the top and the bottom because the ACU doesn't really need support. It's strong on its own. Let's queue up this Hydro now. No point in delaying something so valuable. Strangely enough, I haven't seen anything from the opponent. See if these 2 tanks can make something happen. Okay, I think our opponent is AFK. Yeah, he has to be. Or is he just really slow? Let's build some more factories. We'll focus on that stuff later. I don't know what's going on here. It's slow. Could be an ACU. It is indeed. It's coming to the middle. Actually, he's coming up to chase the tanks. There's some tanks down here, but these are Aeon tanks. You can see they're very weak. Their advantage is range, but the opponent didn't use it. So if he comes at us like this, we just win. But he has more, and I can't see them, so I'm gonna retreat. And a radar wouldn't hurt.
Commander under attack.
Now one trick you can use on 5-kilometer maps is right-clicking the enemy ACU with an artillery. Just an annoying way of dealing a decent bit of damage. But he's already running, so let's not bother. Let's send some more tanks to the bottom.
Commander under attack.
Radar, not yet done. I don't really want to take fights until I know how much he has, so I'm gonna wait for this to finish.
Commander under attack.
Okay, that's 3 tanks. And there's nothing in the center for him. I do see an air unit. So let's make our air factory. And we have so many more units, I can just chase him down. I don't know what's going on here. Was he AFK for a bit? It's kind of rude to say if he wasn't. I guess we'll see. He has some units coming in, but he's so low that I can keep chasing him. Let's focus the tanks first. We can get a good trade out of this. And instead of chasing the ACU, as alluring as it may be, I'm gonna put pressure on the top side of his base. And if he tries to keep fighting with his ACU, I'll eventually kill him. Let's build another factory. He is chasing. I mean, trading down this much HP is not a good idea. He has a bit of tanks building up. But so do I. And his tanks are weak, so this is a good trade. Let's just move in. And let's put some pressure on the base. I'm staying away from his ACU, remember. Army in front of the ACU. ACU in front of the army. And don't let the enemy ACU shoot your tanks. Let's bring these guys up. I'm happy to stand here and shoot.
Commander
That is
under
a point
attack.
defense that he's built. Let's get rid of this thing. Let's build an energy storage, a bunch of power. Overcharge will be useful. And this factory that's going down, I'm gonna send to the right. Okay, he's trying to build more factories down here. Let's shut that down. Yeah, I think he's strayed too far from his base. I'm gonna cut him off with my ACU. Let's bring these up. Okay, he decided to recall. Yeah, I don't know, very slow expansion from our opponent. That kind of just gave us the win. Okay, now I feel bad. He was not AFK. Okay, so I'm curious what did happen. Builds this factory. Does the hydro build. I mean, nothing crazy. He's just a little slow to expand. 5 engineers in the base. Yeah, okay. He just took the different hydro. I mean, I thought he was AFK because this wasn't taken, but he just decided to take a more southern approach. But yeah, look at the mass income difference. All I did is click mass extractors and he forgot to.
Commander under attack.
But a double mass lead like that, I might have only one factory more, but his factories aren't running very efficiently.
Commander under attack.
So we take the win there. Kind of a suboptimal expansion from our opponent. But yeah, I'll end the episode there. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one.